Hi everyone, this is Rhonda Saliv with the Ottawa Life Real Estate Group, and today I am joined by the lovely Stephanie Skerkowski. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Rhonda.
So, fun fact: Stephanie is actually a longtime client of the Ottawa Life Real Estate Group. She was my very first client ever, which speaks to her bravery and loyalty and kindness.
Oh,
But we're very grateful for her, and Erin and I have just loved knowing you. And Steph actually owns and operates Steffi's Place Private Home Daycare, which serves families in the Riverside South and Barrhaven areas. And that's actually how we met Steph. So Steph was the daycare provider to our little guy, and she's known him basically since birth, and has been so instrumental in his growth and development. And we are so, like, you're held in high regard in this home, and we are so thankful for you. So thank you for doing this with us. Steph, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you for asking me to do this, and I'm super flattered. And taking care of Josh was such a blessing to me. So,
You're amazing.
of course, we're just so lucky. We're
You're
lucky to have
amazing. Honestly, we have so much love for each other. You're gonna feel the just like beaming love for us. But Steph's actually here to share, as a daycare provider, she's here to share kind of some tips. So her top 5 tips that she has for parents who are home with kids right now. And we know obviously COVID-19 has changed family situations and dynamics across probably the world, but we know there's a lot of people who are working from home, a lot of people who are working reduced hours or full-time from home and have their kids at home with them. So Steph, I know not only are you a daycare provider that deals with preschool kids, but you also have 2 kids of your own, 9 and 11. So you have a very holistic kind of view of what it is to keep kids busy in the best possible way during the day. So we're excited for you to be here, and yeah, I'll actually just let you get right into it, so you can just kind of launch in.
Okay, thanks, Rhonda. When you asked me to do this, and I kept thinking about what would be my, most interesting tips or my most important things, the things that really stuck out the most to me were schedules, outdoor time, creative outlets, things like gardening / sciencey type experiments, and definitely the emotional side. So those are basically the 5 points that I really want to elaborate on, I guess, a little bit. For number 1, for us, developing a schedule or routine was very important. We really felt that knowing what comes next is what sets kids up for the day. Like, they love to know that they have something to look forward to, and also like what comes after this. My boys are 9 and 11, so we had schoolwork to incorporate into that, and we are doing the 2 hours in the morning. Then next is a creative time, and so on and so forth. But I think parents really just need to develop something that fits them and their kids and their needs. Like, little kids are so different. Mine can sit at the table and do their homework, whereas toddlers, they'll need you there with them.
Yeah.
And also, it shouldn't be something to put a pressure on. It should just be a general routine, and it may change with the weather and also different needs of the kids in the morning and during the day.
Yeah, and I think you had mentioned that you guys have your kind of your homework time for the boys in the morning, and then you kind of do lunch. And I know for us that's so critical. We didn't have that at the beginning, and we were just kind of scrambling and doing whatever we felt like, but then run out of time to do the things you intentionally wanted to do. So that's really key, is like time blocking, even if it's not micromanaged, but time block. Yeah. So that's a great point, Steph.
Thank you. I 100% agree with the time blocking for sure. Next is the outdoor time. For us, yes, we cannot go to the parks right now, but getting outside is so essential, I feel like, for exercise, but also our mental health. Some days, the hardest part is getting out the door. It's not even just the kids, it's me. You know, it might be raining, but rain or shine, we go outside. And then once we're out there, you know, we start walking, and before you know it, you're enjoying yourself. And then when you get home, you're like, I'm so glad that I did that.
Yeah.
And it's fresh.
Yeah. And Steph, I will say this, that actually I remember interviewing you as a child care provider. And one of the things you had said, which resonated with me, was that it does not matter if it is freezing out. It does not matter if it is pouring rain. We are outside, because it's not about the weather. It's about just being prepared for it. So get dressed and get out the door. Because the kids I could feel that Josh, who's my little guy, was just like blossoming, because his outdoor time wasn't dependent on the weather, unless there was like a frostbite warning or whatever. That's a different story. But right now, if it's raining, go outside, right?
Well, the world looks different in all different weathers. So if it's gloomy and wet, you're gonna have different things to look at. And I know sometimes the walks can become repetitive, and we need to spice it up a bit. So I'll do things like get a bird scavenger hunt off the internet, and then we'll kind of look for these birds, and it's whatever we can do to just enjoy the time so it doesn't become too much of a chore.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I know we had talked the other day about even that scavenger hunt idea is so good, because it keeps the kids' minds busy and distracted. So while they're going out and getting fresh air, they're not just having a boring walk, right? They're keeping their eyes open, and it can be things like, you had said, what color cars can we look for? What, how many fire hydrants can we find, and check those off in sort of a scavenger hunt kind of format. So it's very cool.
Thank you.
Very cool.
The next one, number 3, which is my favorite, is creative time. I'm a huge crafter, not just for myself, but I also love doing the kids' crafts. It could be anything. And if you set kids up at the table with you, maybe you have to be on your laptop, and that's okay, but they're with you. And I think that's the main part. It could be anything from coloring. My kids are older, so we do a little bit more elaborate things like paper mache. Mm-hmm. I know my oldest son, he built a bridge out of popsicle sticks that we had, and then he put weights on it to see how much weight it could handle. It's basically looking around your house. Doesn't have to be much, and it's about the process. It's not about the end result. It's just them sitting, creating something. It makes them feel so good too. Yeah. Also, we've done things where we go for walks, and we'll collect things from outside. And I've done this with my daycare, where we make pictures, like a textured picture. Yeah. Or even just putting those items in a jar. Little kids will love that. They love the collecting part of it all. Yeah. And then there's always baking. And when you're baking with kids, that is probably my biggest struggle. I have to admit that. But it's something through all this that I'm really learning to love and appreciate, because I just can't even believe the things my kids are making, or, they just want to watch you too a lot of the time. Mm-hmm.
That's really special. Yeah, simple. And that's it too. I think that any daily thing that you do, whether it's making a meal or whatever, as long as it's safe, right? We're not going to give them the sharpest knife we have, but if we're involving, because all they want is to be with us. So if we're doing the little kind of mundane, in our opinion, things, but we're involving them in it, they just soak that up. And you were saying, Steph, before that baking is a really good opportunity to kind of talk about fractions,
Yes.
So it's it's layering on the things we normally would do anyway.
Yeah. And doubling a recipe, you have to, times your fractions by 2. And yeah,
that's
totally
very smart. That's very smart. And I feel it's like a sneaky way to learn. That reminds me, my little guy right now is obsessed with Monopoly, obsessed. Josh is every day it's playing Monopoly, and he's the banker. So we're playing adult Monopoly, and he's doing all the changes stuff. And that is really special, because it's playing, but it's also teaching him math. So it's
yes,
yes, really good. And as a realtor, I'm like, please learn to be an investor. So it's good. It's really good. Anyways, back to you, Steph.
For number 4, I love gardening too. And I think there's a certain kind of magic in growing something from a tiny little seed and letting your kids see that as well. It's so special. And you don't have to go out and buy seeds or make a special trip. You literally can use things from your kitchen, like pepper seeds, or another amazing thing is when you cut the bud off like a romaine lettuce,
Yes.
if you put that in a dish of water, your children can see another romaine lettuce growing right out of the old one. And I know it's science, but it's also mesmerizing, and they love it. And then maybe they can actually grow something that they can eat later, or
I think there's
enjoy.
other ones too. I think you just got me thinking. I think a green onion does that too, where you cut it
Okay.
up, you put it in. Potatoes do, don't they?
I'm not sure. I know celery does. I've done celery before.
Yeah. So I think it's one of those like just quick Google to like kind of see, because that's true. It's like home gardening without needing to go out in this pandemic. Like just use whatever you have at home.
Yeah. Actually, I have like what we've done here is like you just use an egg carton, and then these are all seeds from the kitchen. Nothing we went out and got. So
that's brilliant stuff. That's brilliant. That's awesome.
And then lastly, I like to always touch on the emotional side, maybe because I am an emotional person, and this is a huge upheaval to our lives, which can trigger a lot of emotions. And I've noticed that myself and my kids were having up and down days, and we need to talk about that. And sometimes that's really hard. Like, if I'm frustrated and it has nothing to do with them, I know that like it's hard for me to talk about with them, and I'll end up like just lashing out at them, which is like unreasonable, because they're just being kids and they don't know what's going on in my mind. And it's really hard, and sometimes we don't even know what we need until somebody makes a suggestion.
Yes.
We did this is our chart. We have little icon faces that will change daily. So we might be feeling great or content, sad, I have tired or sick, because that's our life right now, or angry. And my kids can come down and they can see like, okay, mom's feeling content today, or maybe she's great, so I better prepare that she's going to be in my face and wanting to do a bunch of things. But I also made a second part, which is, what do we need? And it could be anything from a big walk or outdoor time, a hug, space. Like, sometimes we need space or quiet. And like, I don't know, I just feel like it's so important right now to keep validating our children's emotions, because they're going through something extreme as well. And they probably don't even understand why they're feeling the way they're feeling.
Totally. I think you're hitting the nail on the head, Steph, because kids also, it's what you said at the beginning, like they can't sometimes articulate it. And so if you give them a list of emotions, or you kind of ask them, okay, are you feeling sad? Are you feeling tired? Are you frustrated? Are you happy? And they can kind of be like, that's the one. That's how I'm feeling. But for little voices to make such big declarations over what they're feeling, that's a hard thing for them. And I think what you're saying too about like, we're all human, and we need to show our vulnerability to our kids as well, so they know it's okay to express your emotion, and there's a healthy way to do that. So that's really big. Those are big things to expect out of little people without showing them how sometimes.
Yeah.
And
also talking about the fact that you think this is awful too, you know? I'll miss my friends. I want to go out and, you know, and that's okay. Like the mantra right now is we're all in this together and we're all sharing the same kind of experiences kind of and emotions. You know, we got to be there for each other for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, Steph, that's so good. That's so good. Thank you. I feel like I just want to go and like hug my kid and be like, how are you feeling? Let's talk.
I know, yeah.
I think it's a good reminder because sometimes we go on our days and we dismiss how we're feeling because we are like, surely not everyone, like everyone's making do, everyone's getting out there, everyone, you know, doing all the things they should be doing, but this is how I'm feeling and it's a big feeling. And it's just so good to express that and to be able to communicate that with your family members. And have your kids communicate that back to you. So that's great. Thank you, Steph. Thanks. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through an Ottawa lightning round. So now that we've gone through our 5 tips, I'm going to give. So we're gonna try to do this. It might be difficult, but we're going to try. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list off some questions, and in 30 seconds, I'm going to get you to respond kind of instinctively with what your reply is. And I'm going to set 30 seconds on the timer, and then we're going to do it. Okay, so are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to set 30 seconds, but I'm going to start it after I say the first question. So our Ottawa lightning round starts now. Okay, what is your favorite thing about working with kids?
How they make me laugh.
Love it. What is the hardest food you can get kids to eat? The most difficult?
Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
Sure.
What is your best daycare rule?
Oh my goodness, I have so many. My best daycare rule. Oh my gosh, pass. I don't know.
Have you ever had to put yourself in a timeout?
Absolutely, daily.
What is your favorite season?
Summer.
Okay, done. That was 30 seconds. And I'm actually going to ask you one final one. What is one word to describe working with our team? This is self-serving.
One word?
One word.
Incredible.
That's the best word.
Beyond, you have no idea how much I've always appreciated you and your team and how much you do for your clients. It is amazing.
You're amazing. You're amazing. We're equally grateful for you. Again, like Ashley, Taylor, Aaron, and I, we love you. We love your family. Your boys are amazing. And so I'm going to let you actually get back to them. But before I do, just one last question we'll ask you. You have seen kind of a final piece of advice. You have seen a lot of kids transition into daycare. This is a huge transition for a lot of people. So you've seen a lot of transitions happen in families. What is probably just one piece of advice that you would give to parents right now who are going through this transitional period and having a tough time?
I would say be kind to yourself. It's okay. Be patient. In the sense, more with yourself. Like it's too hard right now to add extra pressure and expectations. It's too much.
Yeah.
So I would say just a lot of patience, but mainly with yourself. I mean, we're human, and like.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think I need to remind myself that daily. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't set expectations that are ridiculous. Like, so thank you, Steph. Thank you for joining me and doing this. And we just adore you. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Rhonda. I really appreciate it.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Take care. Bye.